Hello, and welcome to the Toyota Deep Dive. My presentation today will be dedicated to Corolla Cross, which is an important launch for us for several reasons. Firstly, it will strengthen our offer in the C category, where we aim to reach 400,000 sales and a share of 9% by 2025. Secondly, it completes our family of Corolla derivatives, sitting alongside the hatchback, touring sports, and sedan. And thirdly, it completes our SUV lineup, where we are able to offer customers the widest range in the market. The Corolla Cross fills the gap between the Toyota CHR and RAV4. In size and positioning, the Corolla Cross enables us to meet different customer needs. Whereas the Toyota CHR appeals to a more style-oriented customer, the all-new Corolla Cross is a robust and practical SUV which meets the needs of growing families. Based on Toyota TNGA philosophy, the Corolla Cross is featuring the latest GSC platform developments, which brings benefits to the vehicle styling, packaging, technology, and driving dynamics. That will be revealed later in my presentation. So, let's talk now about styling and packaging. For the highly competitive C segment, we have created a strong and solid design that delivers a true SUV look. At 4.46 meters in length and 1.825 meters in width, the Corolla Cross sits between the Toyota CHR and the RAV4 avansate. Wheelbase is 2.640 meters, which has enabled us to provide a generous interior. Corolla Cross delivers the blend of comfort and practicality that families look for in an SUV. This is a practical, solid SUV with a spacious interior. Its styling, as you see, is very different from the Toyota CHR, which has more of a coupe design. Let's take a closer look. The European model is based on the car available in other markets, but it has been adapted to meet European taste. In Europe, we will have a unique combination of headlamps, rear combi lamps, and front grille. Let's look inside. The 12.3-inch fully digital combi meter and the 10.5-inch multimedia display are again unique to Europe. When you look around the interior, you find an airy, spacious environment with good head clearance and plenty of rear seat space for a growing family. The big panoramic sunroof helps to further enhance the overall impression of roominess. The large door apertures make it easy to get in and out, even when carrying a child. Boot storage is good, and the load space combines a low access height with wide door opening, which makes it convenient for loading of big objects like a pram or kids' bicycle. Now let's move on the main technical innovation, which are new to the whole Toyota brand, introduced for the first time with Corolla Cross. First of all, the hybrid powertrain. No one has more experience of this technology than Toyota. And the Corolla Cross is the first Toyota model globally to benefit from the new fifth-generation hybrid system. As you heard earlier, we continue to refine and develop hybrid technology because we see as offering unique benefits as part of a multi-technology approach to carbon neutrality. Hybrid is accessible, it is practical, and it allows customers to achieve immediate reduction in CO2 without having to overcome any practical or behavioral barriers. Toyota fifth generation self-charging full hybrid, front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive I, is an evolution of a fourth generation system with more torque, more electric power, greater efficiency, and increased driving pleasure. It's the ideal powertrain for the customer who wants a car that is easy to drive, cost-efficient, sustainable, and durable. And the Corolla Cross is available with all-wheel drive I, as in the RAV4, which is delivered via an additional electric motor on the rear axle. This gives great confidence and peace of mind in low grip conditions. Let's look closer at the changes. Key components are more compact and lighter in weight, and the transaxle has been re-engineered along with new lubrication and oil distribution system that use low viscosity oil. This contributes to efficiency and power improvements thanks to the reduced electrical and mechanical losses. The new battery pack system, featuring the latest development of lithium battery, is more than 40% lighter than before and more powerful. Front and rear power control units were combined into one block, delivering mass reduction by 20% for front-wheel drive and 40% for all-wheel drive I versions. Thanks to all the change, both motor and engine output have improved, resulting in a total system output increase of more than 8%. The customer is going to feel the benefit of this in terms of better acceleration performance. Output of the 2-liter hybrid is 197 horsepower, delivering an acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour of 8.1 seconds. The 5th generation powertrain drivability also have been further improved. The system is now even more linear, more predictable and controllable under acceleration, with vehicle speed more closely matching engine revolutions. You see that the line is smoother, which is closer to the ideal and better than the previous generation, which was more like a series of steps. This was achieved by recalibrating the relationship between the driver's input on the accelerator pedal and the actual response from the powertrain. Now, let's talk about another technical innovation introduced to Toyota for the first time. The Corolla Cross is the first car to feature multi-configuration 12.3-inch digital cockpit. It's a system with totally new hardware and software, the largest in the segment. It offers maximum space for content, wide flexibility, customization, and personalization options such as fuel consumption, hybrid system operation, and navigation. With Corolla Cross, we are also introducing the latest multimedia. This is faster, always connected, and has better resolution with a high-definition 10.5-inch touchscreen. In addition to standard connectivity, 5 smart connected service will ensure that the car is always connected and up to date. Cloud navigation, road events, voice agent, remote control features, and over-the-air updates. Together, this will help to deliver the best user experience and peace of mind on the road. Corolla Cross customers want the reassurance of knowing that their passenger are fully protected by the most advanced safety system. The car is equipped with Teammate series of systems designed to support and make driving safer, whether you're parking on the motorway or in the city. Teammate is our new communication umbrella for all safety and ADAS systems. As safety technologies evolve, it becomes more like a driver assistant, combining input from a variety of sensors, radars, and cameras to make any driving situation not just safer, but more intuitive and anxiety-free. For Corolla Cross, Teammates include the latest generation of Toyota Safety Sense, as well as driving and parking assistant. Pre-collision system is now offering for the first time acceleration suppression at low speed, intersection cutting traffic assist, as well as expanded oncoming traffic detection. And other new Toyota Safety Sense functions include an emergency driving stop system and over-the-air updates, which allow to keep the function up to date and add even new ones during the model life. In addition, improvements have been made to other systems. Teammate also offers driving assistance such as blind spot monitor with safety exit assist, parking assistant with Toyota Teammate Advanced Park, a panoramic view monitor, rear cross traffic alerts with automatic braking, and more, as you can see on the screen. In terms of passive safety, occupants are surrounded by an extremely strong body structure that is enabled by our new GSC platform, which has prioritized the highest level of safety standards and includes an additional front center airbag. So, that's the Corolla Cross. With the practicality of a spacious SUV, the dynamism of the most advanced hybrid technology, connectivity and safety system, Corolla Cross helps modern family to enjoy their daily challenges.